Well, good afternoon, everybody. This is Jim Hovland, your Edina Mayor. It is Monday, June 1st, 2020. Usually our Mayor's Minute program is used daily to communicate information to our community on COVID-19. I'm going to make an exception today to talk about the civil unrest that's occurring in the Twin Cities. I also want to say again on behalf of the people in our community, the city of Edina, that our town, our community, everybody in our community extends its deepest condolences to Mr. George Floyd's family and friends. The pain and suffering being endured by this tragedy, I think, has touched all of us as residents of the Twin Cities, as Minnesotans, as Americans, and certainly and particularly probably as human beings. Our hearts really go out to Mr. Floyd's family. I also want to thank our own community for your patience and cooperation this weekend during the curfews and road closures related to the region's civil unrest. It was very helpful for our law enforcement personnel to do what we needed to do, and we've done it again today, consistent with the governor's order. And there'll be a order in place with respect to a curfew through Wednesday, June 3rd. Many of you have asked what happened in Edina over the weekend. Emails coming in, wanting to know what the police department's response was to various things. I can tell you that we have had reports of graffiti around our community. We have had a handful of burglaries, but they're under investigation, and we don't know whether they're tied to the civil unrest that's occurred. Our officers made a significant number of traffic stops over the nighttime hours just last night in enforcement of the curfew. Our officers adjusted patrols based on trends that they observed over the past few days. And they, due to those adjustments, saw a drop in the number of property crimes that were reported. While officers may have not been in every residential area at all times, their tactics have provided a positive result in our community in terms of seeing a drop in property crime levels. I also want to say that there have been a handful of peaceful protests in Edina in the last 2 days. There was one today at City Hall that lasted several hours. I saw many people there that I knew from our community that were there expressing their concern over the death of George Floyd. And these events are important to our community. There was one yesterday on the crosstown at the France Avenue Bridge. We went there as well. I went there with my wife and Mike Fisher from the council. People that were involved were very respectful. And I have to say that the people driving by were extraordinarily supportive with respect to the honking that went on. And the same thing I noticed today, a lot of support for people in our community that were expressing their First Amendment rights of free speech. This is all part of the healing process, and I think really important. We may have some other peaceful events in our community in the days to come, but we'll manage those in the proper way and allow people to express their free speech. I hope that as a community, we will continue to have conversations about race and racism locally, regionally, and nationally. Our city, as you know, is committed to leading our community in a way that both appreciates and values the humanity of everyone and the growing diversity of our community. This is Jim Hovland, and this is your Mayor's Minute for June 1st, 2020. Stay close to home, observe the curfews that are in place, and stay healthy. We'll talk to you again tomorrow.